Be good to go, sir. So welcome to the Wolfcast, week 10 edition. I got a came live with a guest. I'd like to make the formal introduction here in a second, but so you know, hold on. I'm think I'm getting I'm getting a little bit of double feedback. So hang on one second. Came live with a guest. I'd like to make the formal introduction here in a second, but so you know, hold on. I'm think I'm getting a little bit of double feedback. So yeah, my bad. My bad. I'm getting the here we go. You probably can hear that, can't you?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. All right. We should be good to go now. All right. Now I can't hear myself talk every other word that I was saying. So welcome to the Wolfcast. We still getting this down. It's week 10. I'll figure it out by week 18 or week 21.
Next season we're gonna be legit 100.
Man, they ain't doing this next season. I'm turning it over. I'm gonna turn it over to somebody. But nah.
You've been the president for the last 10 years.
But nah, so we got King of the Gridiron, and he's truly the king of the gridiron right now. Well, king of the fantasy football right now for sure, because I mean, right now you are the man to beat. So how does it feel? Well, welcome for one. Welcome to the Wolfcast.
I appreciate the invite, man. Finally getting on here. I've been trying to get on the Wolfcast for a minute, but it feels good being on top, That's all I can say.
I mean, let's talk about it a little bit. It's been a while since you've been, the top dog. It was a couple of seasons ago where, I think you went into the playoffs either 1 or 2 seed. So do you feel like you have that squad built this year? How you feeling, man? I know you're trying to jinx it either.
Right now, I think I got a decent squad. My setup that I got right now is working for me. I got my tight ends actually finally clicking with Jake Ferguson and Dalton Kincaid. They got me going, but unfortunately, I go as the Cowboys go. So we know how they get in December, so it's gonna be a little rough once we get into that December time month. It's the only time to tell though. But I'm pretty confident about my abilities right now.
Yeah, and again, I'd like to formally apologize to you since I have you on the Wolfcast. In the offseason, I said that Travis Kelce for the Cowboys defense was a horrible trade. I believe I said that in a group chat that we might have. I believe I may have personally texted that to you, and I'm pretty sure I said it to you to your face. So
you did.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize on all three facets. I will put it in. I think I put it in the group chat. I apologize in the group chat. I don't believe I've texted you, but I have physically. I've said it to you to your face now. So I apologize.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, that trade, especially you look at what Travis Kelce did this past Sunday. That was a great trade, man. It was a good move with the Cowboys.
I appreciate it. Let's hope they can whoop up on the Giants this week too. So we'll see though.
It ain't hard to whip up on the Giants right now. It ain't hard. I think we can get who's the hottest high school football team around here right now. They might can get
still high school come through and
yeah. Still could put them out. So well, yeah, we were supposed to have another guest, but I think he was too disgruntled to join us. So he didn't, he didn't qualify for enough wins to really be on here anyway. But I was going to invite him. But nonetheless, not going to speak his name. I don't want to put anybody down like that. We just won't say who's supposed to be on here tonight. They know who they are. And if they happen to call in, they just happen to call in and we'll put them on blast like that. So, but all these things I'm saying where I was going to say on the cast, but he did not have enough wins to qualify, but he was going to be on the show nonetheless. So anyway, man, just a couple of notes for everybody. League guys, the trade deadline is next Thursday. So at the start of fantasy football next Thursday, so that's what the game kicks off at 7:00. At 7 p.m. you will not be able to make trades for the rest of the season. So I know there's a bunch of us who love to make trades, both of us who have the trade itch. I don't think I've actually made a trade this year, so I need to make one. So I got one more week to make a trade. You over here laughing because you just made a little trade before the game started. So you got your weekly deadline trade in. So congrats on making willing and dealing with STL over here. So but yeah, so again, if anybody's got any questions on that, feel free to reach out to me, the commissioner. and I'll answer that for you. Feel free to do it on the chat here in this YouTube if you're watching it, or text me. Outside of that, is there any other big news, man, we need to cover? Well, you're also the vice president too, so let me also acknowledge that.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You were sworn in some 5-6 years ago. I don't know how long ago, but we've had a great run, man. We're the greatest commissioner duo that this league and this actually the United States have ever seen. And I didn't bring my trophies out, but I am the 12-time commissioner of the year, although I've only been commissioner for like 5 years. But it's different ways you can win the award. So that's why it's 12 times.
Yeah, it's been great, man. It's been a great run. I wouldn't be mad if we passed the torch on to somebody else, but if anybody's gonna take it, whatever. We just keep running with it.
It's big shoes to follow, though. So that's the other thing. I know how hard these shoes are to follow as a commissioner, and I don't want to set anybody up for failure, man. So if I have to do it again, we have to do it again. But it might be in a shell, Yeah. Hey, we said from day.
We will set the bar a little bit lower next year, so that way the next person that comes in, they don't have to feel so intimidated.
Yeah. You know what? In our introductory ceremony, we said that we were going to take this league as high as we could or to the ground. So we take it as high as it could go. Maybe the next move is let's take this league to the ground. Let's really like mess it up and just take it to the ground. So, yeah. Based on some of the scores last week, it ain't far.
It's rough. Last week was a rough week for a lot of people. I mean, I still was able to break 200, but that was by the skin of my teeth.
Yeah, I didn't break 200. I beat Action Jackson, so it was had he put the right guys in the starting lineup, I would have got the brakes beat off of me though. There was no other way I could have won last week. I mean, I had Luke Musgrave on the bench who had a good game, but outside of that, if he would have put anybody else in that game, I would have gotten blown out. So I'm a lucky 6-3. So speaking of that, man, I'll tell you one other thing. Pick'em is pretty interesting right now because last week, I believe you and Action Jackson were actually at the top.
Yeah.
And this week, was that?
He got me this week. He up there I think about 3 games or something like that.
Yeah, he's by himself. And shoot, I'm even in the mix now. With a big week. So Pick'em has just gotten tough. I mean, but again, who saw some of the games, the way they went down? I mean, the Vikings went in, you had a quarterback, and then Dobbs came in and saved the day. The Raiders showed life. The Giants got slack. It was just all kind of stuff, man. So, yep. So, anyway, so pick them again. Make sure we put our picks in and stuff like that. So, if you're ready to get to the games, man, we can get to the games.
Let's do it.
All right. So, like I started off, I said the game of the week, or I didn't start off. Off camera, we were talking about it. Game of the week, I believe it's going to be Rob one time. He needs to change that name. He wasn't robbed. Anyway.
When you voluntarily make we gonna just give me some of the money. I gave you the trophy. Hey, you gave it up willingly.
Yeah, he robbed himself. What is that called?
We'll call you consensual one time.
There you go. That's better.
There we go.
All right. So consensual one time versus the G-Man. What you thinking there? Like G-Man's got a good team. And we all know that. We all understand what G-Man rides in. Every year, G-Man's got a good team. But, I mean, Rob's got a good team. He had a good team last year. He's got a good team again this year. His record, I think, is 5-4. I don't think his record really indicates, like, how good his team really is because he had Burrow. And we know Burrow started off those first 3 games really don't count. So,
he's clicking now.
What's that?
And Joe Burrow's clicking now, so he's gonna be better.
Yeah. And so you look at who he's got going. He's got DJ Moore going tonight. And he's also got Adam Thielen. So that's the only thing. It's like it's so Adam Thielen has done way better than I think any of us. I think I laughed at that pick because I ended up picking Jonathan Mingo thinking that I had the guy. But Adam Thielen has like turned back the clock, man. He's playing like he was a few years ago with the Vikings. And then you got number 2 for the Bears, DJ Moore. So he's put up crazy games.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, and he got Sam Laporta too, who's been playing crazy as a rookie tight end with the Detroit Lions, and they're going against that Chargers defense too. And their secondary, unfortunately, got family over there. The secondary getting ate up. alive. So, hey,
We're gonna
we'll
edit
see.
that part so your family don't see what happened. Don't see you talking about the secondary for the Chargers, man. Thanksgiving. Well, no, he unfortunately can't play for Thanksgiving or Christmas. So
That's
Easter,
right. So I got
Easter
some
might be a
time.
little bit rough. But then look on the other side. G-Man, he's starting Kyler Murray this week. He's got Josh Jacobs going. Nico Collins put up a big game, I think, pretty last week. Jerry Jeudy off of a bye. Calvin Ridley. His tight ends are Mark Andrews and TJ Hockenson. Although TJ Hockenson is a little bit banged up, he's going to play. And we know that Dobbs is going to light it up in terms of targets to the tight end. So, I mean, both teams are good. Both teams are good. So, who we got? Who you picking?
Ooh, looking at it, man. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Rob one time. Only reason I'm picking Rob one time because Kyler Murray ain't, I ain't seen him play yet this season, so I don't know what he's gonna do. And then
Yeah.
also that Giants defense, I don't know. Against the Cowboys, Dak knows how to get things done. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Rob one time this time around.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna follow with you too on that. Same reason because the defense. I just don't see the Giants defense being able to do enough. So I'm gonna go with you on that one. So we got Rob over G-Man, which is crazy, or consensual over G-Man. All right. I don't know if that'll get us kicked off of YouTube. All right. Next up, we got STL. So I'm gonna go with I'm going STL, who's 4-5, a surprising 4-5, versus the better team, who is also 4-5. That's a father-son matchup. I should have went back and looked at the history and seen what the father and son matchups look like, but I didn't have time. So right now, the better team is actually the better team and has been scoring the more points, although he took a loss last week. He's got Foreman going tonight. Foreman has been pretty much a beast ever since they put him back active on the roster. Kind of makes you think, why did they have him inactive anyway? STL, let's look at it. He's got Aaron Jones, which was a great trade, I think. Aaron Jones is finally coming in. McCaffrey's back off a bye. Chris Godwin. Rashid Shaheed. That dude is either going to have 15 yards or 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's going to be one or the other. There ain't going to be no in between.
Yep.
And then he's also got he's going to trot out Bellinger, and he's got David Njoku. And the Chargers defense going against the Lions versus the better team. You know what? We about to get some hate on this one, man. You thinking what I'm thinking?
What you thinking?
I'm thinking better team.
I actually picked the better team to win as well.
Okay.
I mean, he has Christian McCaffrey get him a lot of points, but other than that, I mean,
Aaron Jones is going to get off. Aaron Jones is going to get 25. Aaron Jones is going to get, close to, if not over 100 total yards with rushing and passing. Rushing catch.
I don't know. That Allen and Diggs combo, I think, to me, and then Kittle, I think that'll kind of help him get over top, man. I think that'll help him. So
yeah,
I'm rolling with the better team.
All right. So check the comments. Make sure anybody trashing us too bad. Because that pick will probably get us trashed. Still boycotting, by the way, but he'll watch videos, but he's boycotting coming live on the show. So just we know that. Next up, we got, I told y'all we got the 2-7 GOAT. He still needs to change that name though, because he has not shown that he's the greatest of I don't know he the GOAT. I don't know what he GOAT yet. Yeah. You got 2-7 versus 7-2. And 2-7 for this week, not bad. Not a bad team. He's on a 2-game win streak. Because we said coming into the season, he had a really good roster. They just didn't perform well. But now those guys are doing all right. They're doing enough. And I'd say 2 things that kind of stand out about this roster or about this lineup this week is his receivers. I think both of them have somewhat of an injury, right? Metcalf and Jamar Chase, which Jamar Chase came out and said he's going to play today. He said, barring, unless something changes, he's going to play today or play Sunday.
Yeah. That's the only thing I see too. Just those 2 kind of coming out banged up. I
Yeah,
mean, he is getting off a little bit easier with the $5. $5 you just got AJ Brown in there who lights things up for him all the time, and he caught him on the bye week, so
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Receiver wise, he should be able. If those two guys play, he should be able to do. He should be able to outperform Ayuk and Gabe Davis, right?
yeah, I agree.
Uh, Evan Ingram's back off of bye. Evan Ingram's been pretty solid. Tyler Conklin, that's hit or miss. I wouldn't trust that. Although I do, me and him do have a bet going on for the season, and I'm probably going to lose it. Uh, Tyler Conklin. That's the worst way to lose a bet is betting on Tyler Conklin. But crazier things have been said on this here Wolfcast. But I'm willing to take a 2-7 team over a 7-2 team this week.
I'm with you on that. I'm going with the GOAT.
Man, the GOAT's gonna be on a 3-game win streak. Because we're never wrong. I'm never wrong. I've never got any of these wrong. I think it's 7 years running. I've gotten all my picks correct.
All of them, huh?
Was that?
I said all your picks because I could have sworn you had the infantry war beating somebody last week, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna keep it moving.
See, you have to look at all right. So in my reverse jinx and stuff like that, even though I might have verbally said if I would have my notebook or what's in my head, yeah, I picked it right. So yeah, I always get it right. Always get it right, man.
I got you. My bad, man. My bad. I don't know how your system works completely.
Yeah. I'll get to this other game. We got Dark Knight. I'm sorry. Yeah. We got Dark Knight, who is 5-4. That's a scary 5-4 as well. Like when I say scary, not nobody's afraid to pay. Like he's a 5-4. I think he's on a 4-game losing streak, and he's 5-4, and I don't think he's scored more than 200 any time this season. And then you got on the other side a 4-5 team who probably is a scarier 4-5 team because all he do is score over 200 and lose.
Oh man.
I mean, but he ain't on here, so let me make sure.
Yeah,
ain't nobody. Yeah, he ain't on here. He's got Will Levis, James Cook. I'm talking about the 4-5 Huckleberry, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin. Man, have you ever seen Devontae Adams so excited to not have to be part of a game than he was last week? Like, it was like Josh McDaniels was gone and he had the same like bad performance, but he was like, you know what? I'm cool now. Now the coach is gone. I'm okay not getting passes. He's gone.
Yeah, buddy.
But hopefully Devontae Adams does something this week. Huckleberry is also going to start KaVontae Turpin. That's an interesting pick to start a player this week. That's an interesting one. He looking for a punt return, huh?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what. Maybe think the Giants are that bad that they gonna just start dumping it off to Turpin too. Everybody gonna be like,
fourth quarter is Turpin time. Let's see. Is somebody commenting this? Did I see a comment pop up?
I saw someone on the group me.
No, that's on the group me. Okay, good. All right. All right. So who we picking in this one, man? I'll let you go first because actually, even though I'm talking about Huckleberry's team, I actually think he might be able to win this week.
I picked Huck to win this one.
You picked Huckleberry too?
Yeah, I picked Huckleberry too. I think the Raiders with Max Crosby, he's gonna put up them points against the Jets. They're gonna give Zach Wilson the business just like he got last week against the Chargers. And then I think, that his tight end, Kyle Pitts, he'll have a good run against Arizona Cardinals defense. So yeah, I got Huckleberry winning. Unfortunately for Dark Knight, Mahomes is on a bye week, which even over the last 2 weeks, I don't think Mahomes would help him anyway. But I'm still going with Huckleberry. I think Huckleberry got it this week.
Got you. All right, we agree on that one. The next up, we have the Baker King, 6-3. He's already got 55 with Bears defense tonight. That's looking good. Versus the Bulldogs at 3-6. Bulldogs, based on how Bulldogs historically is, that 3-6 is kind of surprising. He's usually a 500 team, and actually not even 5. He's usually 6-3 this time of season. But injuries, I wouldn't even say injuries, just some players just not performing on a consistent basis, really what it's been.
Yeah,
because like Waddle, he's got Waddle and Devontae Smith on bye. So he's having to put out Mike Evans and Garrett Wilson. I mean, those names should be able to carry him. It's not like those are slouch receivers at all. Those are guys that everybody they're starting, and they're in some cases number one receivers for a lot of people. So, but yeah, tight end is really weak with Noah Fant. But running back, he's got Javonte, he's got Rachaad White, he's got Brian Robinson, Brock Purdy. I think Purdy's going to be all right coming back from bye. The Browns defense is always a solid defense. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Bulldogs is not a again, his record, I think, is just indication of tough division and just, wrong weeks for a lot of times for some of these guys.
Yep.
But
yeah, I agree with you, man. I don't know. It's looking on both sides of these teams. I see some weaknesses and I see some strengths, so it can go either way. It's gonna be a close one either way, I think.
yeah, I will also say
King.
Tony Pollard has not done what I thought he'd done. I thought Tony Pollard would be like number one receiver, number one running back, Christian McCaffrey kind of numbers.
Yep.
So who you picking, man?
Ooh, I picked Baker King to win this one, but I don't know. I might. Ooh, it's so close. One reason I say that is because I don't know how Justin Herbert's gonna do against that Detroit defense coming at him. I don't see him scoring that much, and then of course Tony, like you said, Tony Pollard ain't been doing much, but I know CeeDee Lamb will get him some points. Logan Thomas will get them points, man. I'm gonna keep my original pick. I'm gonna go ahead and roll with Baker King, but it's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be down to the last minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Baker King as well. I kind of wanted to go against Baker King just to make him mad. It's more fun when he's mad when he's not. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Baker King too. And it really comes down to me is just a quarterback to quarterback. Although Purdy, the way I look at it is Purdy is going to be solid for like 220, 225, maybe even 250, and like 2-3 touchdowns, maybe 2 touchdowns for sure. I think Herbert is the one who he could get that 300, 350 game, and he could have 3 or 4 touchdowns because he's due. It's been a while.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that Mike Williams, and you could see that Mike Williams he relied on having that one explosive play a game, that 50-yarder, 40-yarder, or whatever. I think Jalen Guyton can do that for him, and you can get the Detroit secondary. You might not, he's gonna get sacked. What is it, Hutchinson? Yeah, that guy. He's gonna get him. He's gonna get him a couple of times, but I think with the Chargers secondary is gonna cause that game to be a shootout. I think we actually might get one of those fantasy, kind of explosion games that we always look for, and be good. It's good that it's at 3:00, so we get a chance to actually watch it. So,
yep, should be a good one.
Yeah. All right. So we picking Baker King. Good job, Baker King. We only got 2 more games. We got Infantry Warrior, who's 4-5. You beat him last week. Good job.
Yeah, I beat him with my kicker versus tight end. My kicker came in clutch. Dicker the kicker. He did it. He got
it. He did it. Hey, he came through. So, and then Laugh Now is 2-7. Hey, we told him you can't do what you did last year, man. You can't come in 2-7 and then get on a streak and end up 6-7 making the playoffs and winning the championship. Can't do that this year. That was gonna be a lot harder. We didn't really talk about playoff spots, but those are, I think after this week we'll probably have to talk more about playoff positioning. But in looking at this matchup, you got Geno. Let me just look at some highlights. You got Geno, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Dalton Schultz, his receivers, Michael Pittman. You got Laugh Now. He's got Jared Goff. I mean, Goff, I think, should do well this week. Bijan. Who knows what Arthur Smith is thinking as a coach. Tyler Lockett, Drake. This team should be a whole lot better than what it is, but it's not.
Yeah, I agree.
So
you look at his roster and you're like, oh man, he should light it up. But yeah.
Same team that won him a championship last year, pretty much, except for Daniel Jones. I will say this week, if Daniel Jones doesn't get hurt last week, we might be talking about a 3-6 team, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to just turn it off on this team, but he's playing against a formidable team. Infantry Warriors shown to be solid this year. I'll pick first on this one. I don't know if this is a pity pick or what, but I'm gonna go with Laugh Now, man.
I hear you. But I just got through playing Infantry Warrior last week, and he made me go toe to toe. He was getting it. So I'm gonna go with Infantry Warrior. I think he gonna get this one.
You know what? Maybe this will. I'm gonna look at something real quick because if it'll come up to me. I'll tell you what. We'll go to the second to last pick because oh, there it is. There it is. Oh man, yeah. So this is the other reason I'm going to add to the pity pick. Mrs. Laugh now pay later is 7-2. So maybe I saw them last week and she said she was going to try to give some pointers. So
Okay.
yeah,
So she
and
gives them two. There she.
yeah, so she's got the best record over there. Oh, who has the number 2 record on that side over there?
I think it might be the Queen. I'm not sure.
Queen of the Gridiron. Wow. Wow. Queen of the Gridiron, 6-3. And then Mrs. Laugh now pay later is 7-2. So interesting times. Interesting times. Okay. Interesting times. All right. So all right, so then we got the last 2 games. The last 2 games are involve us, man. So how we want to talk about these games? You got the Big Wolf versus Swagner.
All right, let me look. I know you don't like to pick because of your affiliation with
Yeah, I'm affiliated with a Big Wolf organization, so I can't do it. I just can't do it. Man.
I'm gonna go ahead and break this game down for you. I'll go ahead and talk about it. So, you had CJ Stroud like outperform himself last week. I mean, he showed what he's got, but now he has to roll into Cincinnati and try to do the same thing. So that's gonna be a little bit different game for him. I don't see him putting up the numbers that he put up last time. You also got Lamar Jackson on the other end going up against that brutal Cleveland defense. So Lamar gonna be running for his life. It's coming up Sunday. So
thank you for letting me know that. Thank you for reminding that. Okay.
No, I'm just here. I'm just here to help. But then you got also Jahmyr Gibbs, who's been lighting it up. But he's also got Montgomery coming back too, so he's got to share snaps with Montgomery.
Hey man,
taking up some of his time. Hold on, man. There's some bright spots, man. You got Keenan Allen, out there that Herb's gonna be launching into because that's his only liable receiver. You actually put Luke Musgrave in this time, so we're good on that end.
Got no choice.
Jordan Love, but Jordan Love likes his tight ends, man. So I think you're gonna be set on that, man. Your Ravens defense versus Cleveland. I think the Ravens defense is gonna do well against Deshaun Watson. He don't seem to be 100% neither. Over on the other side, what do we got? We got Austin Eckler, who always puts up his numbers. He does what he does. I don't think that Broncos defense is going to be as great against Buffalo's offense, but we shall see. I'm hoping not, since I'm affiliated with some of the players on the Buffalo side of the ball. I need them to have a game of the week too. So honestly, long story short, my pick for this week and that game is I'm going with the Wolf. That's my pick.
Well, let's move on. Okay. So the last game, usually the last game is the Wolf first, whoever the Wolf is playing. So we kind of did this out of order.
It's all right.
Okay, so we got the 3-6 Action Jackson versus the 8-1 King of the Gridiron. King of the Gridiron has been on a roll this year. He's got Dak. I mean, and that's what's crazy. Dak is not like playing like lights out of this world. I think in our league, Dak is barely in the top 10 of fantasy quarterbacks, but you win it. Ezekiel Elliott, I think you just like having him on your team and still being able to start him because as a Cowboy, you probably have his jersey and probably wears underwear too.
I have his jersey and I have a pair of socks, but no underwear. No
I couldn't say another joke, but I'll stop.
There's the only reason Elliott got to start, man, because Swift is taking the time off this week.
Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, you did make a trade and get Tajay Spears. That might not be a bad pick either, but I get it. Yeah. Travis Etienne, that whole Tank Bigsby stuff they was feeding us in the offseason was all lies. All lies. Jordan Addison, doesn't matter who's at quarterback, they're going to look for him. George Pickens, does matter who's at quarterback sometimes because you can get
Pickett's trash.
Yeah, good Pickett or bad Pickett. Either Pickett is neither one. It's not great Pickett. I like your tight ends though. Ferguson and Kincaid. Man, I was listening on the radio today, man. They were talking about like this has been the best tight end class almost ever. Because you look at it like Kincaid, Laporta, Musgrave. Is
Yeah.
Ferguson, is he a rookie too?
This is second year.
Second year. Okay.
Second year. Yeah.
Okay. But still, like, but Kincaid, part of it too. But man, it's just the rookie tight ends this year, man. They came in, usually it's like a 2 or 3 year curve for them, but they came right in or making a big impact. And injuries have helped some of it, but Kincaid was doing his thing since preseason, really. So anyway, Action J, good squad. His running backs, Saquon Barkley will probably run the ball 50 times this week, because Danny DeVito's nephew or somebody is quarterback. You got Jonathan Taylor, Tank Dell playing against the Bengals, Romeo Dobbs, I don't trust it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to have 10 passes for 100 yards. Jonnu Smith, he'll have a good game. You got your hands, full with this one, man. It should not be a cakewalk, but you should win. You're gonna pull it out. It'll be, I think you'll get your average, I think you'll get around 220. He'll get around 200. 220 to 207. That's my game prediction.
Put a score out there too.
Yeah. I mean, because again, when you're accurate, you can do that. That's a little bit of a buffer in there. So but yeah, we got through the picks, man. Need to cover anything else?
I think that's it, man. We talked about we'll do the playoff season. You said next week. Y'all cover that on the Wolf Vision.
Yeah.
Because one more week and then we go back into our own divisions after that.
Yeah. I was like, real quick, the teams that are in the driver's seat for things, the cool thing is that like nobody's out of the playoffs right now. The only person that would be completely out of it would be Wolf. Would be Goat if Goat took a loss. And if Laugh Now takes another loss, it's probably going to be really tough for those teams with 8 losses to make the playoffs. So we can pretty much count them out if they get loss number 8. I think that's kind of the magic number in their mind. On the flip side of it, once you get win number 9, you're in. So you win this week, you're going to be in the playoffs. It's going to be hard for anybody out of there because especially if you look at Huckleberry with 5 losses, Better Team with 5 losses, Infantry Warrior with 5 losses, and Swagner with 6. You're going to be in the playoffs. It's like you're not going to finish any worse than 9-5. So Fire Dogs is real close to solidifying that playoff spot. Baker King at 6-3 is pretty close too. So if you look at the top division of the American North, you got Dark Knight at 5-4, STL at 4-5, Action J at 3-6, and Goat 2-7. That's why I say Goat 2-7, being in that division, he's not far. He could still have a chance at it because that division could just be bad. But I think STL and Action J will end up having something to say about the playoff picture on that top side. If that's just a prediction of mine. I think those two teams, is really going to be between. And then, you can't rule out the better team either. So It's going to be that 4th spot from there is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, man. And then if you look down on the national side, you got Wolf. You got 3 6-3 teams: Baker King, Silver Wolf, or Big Wolf, and the G-Men. And then you got 2 3-6 Swagner, Bulldogs, and then you got the 4-5 Infantry Warrior. You got 5-4 Rob. So it's gonna be a mixed bag. I'm not ready to call any of those teams. I think I'd like to say Wolf and G-Men, Baker King and Rob are probably the ones that's pacing everything, but you only have 1 or 2 games separating them from like the 3rd and 4th place team or the 4th and 5th place team. So
once y'all get back in those division games, that's what's gonna make the outcome on those. Especially between you and G-Man.
Yeah. Me and G-Man both 6-3. But you look at he averages 225 points a game. I average 212. So it's like it shows you what the true, we're both on a 3-game win streak. Anyway, enough about us.
Yep.
So Anyway, appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh, no problem.
We'll definitely have to do it again. So
I look forward to it. Maybe once we get the whole playoff picture, like the people who make the playoffs can actually be on here on the Wolf Vision. We'll see what they got to talk about.
nah, I ain't putting all y'all on here.
Hey, yeah, that's fine, man. That's all right. I'm gonna get the link and sneak on.
All right.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good week.
Yep. You too.
Later.